So, hello, welcome to the first episode of the Sunfall Cycle, a brand new Dungeons & Dragons game over here on twitch.tv/Jesse Cox, featuring these lovely people that you see around me. I figured we could say hi, introduce ourselves, talk about what we do on the internet, and then we could hop right into the game. Hello, I'm Steven. I'll be your DM for this game. This is a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons game. It's been a little while since I've seen some of you, but some of you maybe have seen me around the internet recently over on Roll For It's channel with Margaret Crone, Bentham Gaming, and Enter Elysium playing Pirates of the Broken Skies, which is super fun. And these days I'm coming to you live now from, it's currently 7:17 in the evening. That's the PM post, I don't even know. From Amsterdam, where I now work with Gorilla. And that's super awesome. I can't wait to get into the game. So I'll let our friends introduce themselves. Britt, why don't we start with you? Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, the kinds of role-playing games you play.
It's me, Britt Wiseman. What's up? I am. I'm guys. I got to tell you, I'm terrible at intros. I'm going to mess it up every time. It's never going to be comfortable. I don't know what my problem is. I work at Twitch. I'm a producer for the Twitch Studios team, so I do that as a job. And I've played a couple different 5e campaigns before on Misclicks and the D&D channel. And that's mostly the extent of my role playing. I've played a little bit of Blade in the Dark and done a few other things here and there, but mainly D&D. And I'm excited to play today.
Super sweet. Jeff, why don't you tell us who you are, what you do?
Well, hello, everybody. I am Jesse Cox's ass double. So when he has to do a scene where there's any kind of rear-sided nudity, I'm usually the guy.
Which is a lot. It happens more than you'd think. Yeah.
Are you the past double or the back double?
Yeah. So
okay, good.
Both those things. When I'm not doing that, I am streaming a lot of strategy games on Twitch, In Control TVs, like all my stuff on social media. You may have seen me in some of the other role-playing shows. I played with Steven. I played with Jesse. That one was too short-lived. For a little while, Jesse and I, we did a one-shot where you had to roll random romantic encounters with the cast. That might have been some of the most.
Was that made RPG?
No.
No,
wow.
That's just every time I'm on, I'm rolling romantic encounters with the cast. It's a problem I have. It's not intentional.
It makes sense.
It's a Jesse Cox thing, but the game had it built in there. And there was an old. I was like I think I was either an old man character or a young man character, but I had to fall madly in love with a very old man character, and but it was anime, so it's what are you gonna do? At
the end, I ripped my shirt off and became a dragon. I remember that. It was great.
Yeah. Anyways, that kind of stuff's there's no other way to go with that. That's happened. I'm looking forward to it. My character's a fighter, which I almost immediately regret because I recently am playing a paladin on another show, and paladins are so interesting and fun. But then I rolled really shitty stats for this fighter, so I'm excited to roll.
Really shitty? You have an 18 strength.
What are you gonna do? Only 118 though.
Only 118. That's all.
18.
Only one.
But he's really dumb, so I'm gonna play a character that it's really I really enjoy group dynamics and role playing interesting stats and stuff like that. So he's not very smart, not very wise, but he's charismatic as hell, and he's got a heart of gold. That's my character.
Lovely. And Bronze Girl, why don't you tell us about yourself, introduce yourself, tell people where they can find you.
Yeah. Hi, hello. I'm that Bronze Girl. I am a full-time shit talker and creator of content on Twitch.tv. You know what, Britt? I topped you for worst intro.
I did this. I'm sorry. I spread it around.
It's like as soon as Steven was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Fuck, what do I do?"
I don't know.
She has an existential crisis.
Can I roll for this?
Yeah.
Who is any of us? All right.
I am Negan. I don't know. It's like a full Zoolander moment. But yeah, I do some RPG stuff here and there. I've actually GM'd for a very small amount of time, Jesse and Steven.
Hyper RPG.
Yeah.
With me, that was the what game was that?
That was the Open Legend.
Open Legend, yeah.
Kickstarter. Yeah, it was like for their Kickstarter. Mm-hmm.
He's like, I've got so many shows that I'm on and stuff that I can't.
It's so hard to remember.
Yeah.
Like, what show is that? Because I don't even remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I did that. And right now, right after this, I'm on JP's channel. I'm on Far Verona with Adam Coble and crew. And yeah, I'm on a lot of different RPG stuff around the internet. That's me.
Wicked.
In this game, I get to be a bastard, which I'm very excited about. Very excited for you all to meet my bastard. Total opposite.
That is going to be exciting.
Our humble, sweet fighter.
Right on. So Jesse, I think you're the last one. I saved you for last because you're I don't know, maybe the best is like what you're supposed to say. Tell us more about yourself, Jesse.
No one can do a worse intro than the intro I provided for this show. 3 failures. 3 failures. So you're all fine. You're all okay. Don't even worry about it. Hi, everyone watching. I'm Jesse. You're watching my Twitch channel. This is the stream you've chosen. Enjoy the next 2.5, 3 hours. Goodness, what do I even say? Yeah, this time I'm gonna try not to play a total bastard, and we'll see what happens. I can't promise anything.
No promises. Awesome. So, shit. What was I going to ask you, Jesse? I was going to ask you something. Right? How did this show come about, Jesse?
I believe you and I were in Amsterdam at an Italian restaurant, drinking wine, about to go see. No, you weren't going to go see it with us.
Was it a donkey show?
It was not. It was not a donkey. It was a fine little Italian eatery on one of the canals in Amsterdam, and
beautiful.
We had a discussion. I was going to go see a movie that night, but I don't remember what movie it was. It's probably terrible. But
wow,
I do remember that we were like, you know what would be a great idea for like a crazy role-playing thing? Just like something where you could just kill people over and over again. But like that's the point. Is they constantly die. Wouldn't that be fun? And you were like, I have an idea. And that was sort of it. And then I was like, run with it. And here we are.
I thought even maybe back at that point in time, I may have been already playing that with my in real life role-playing crew.
How much?
I might have been like, Jesse, I have an idea.
Yeah.
The city is Amsterdam. How much of that do you think plays into effect? Like how high?
Every bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, 100% due to on account of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can tell. Okay. I've been around kids who've done drugs before. I know what it looks like.
You think this is a drug-inspired RPG show?
I do.
Can we claim that as the first? If that's cool, if people are into that, I'd like to claim it.
I don't know if we can, in good conscience, claim this as the first drug-inspired.
You know what?
Twitch.
You're right. You're right. How dare I? That's totally true. You're right.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. There were a handful of things I wanted to talk about first. Right. So just to talk about the show. We're going to play for about 2 hours now, and we'll take one break about halfway through, so probably around like my 8:15 / y'all's 11:15 a.m. I think that's the way that works out. So in about an hour and actually maybe about 45 minutes from now, we'll take our first 5-minute break, and then we'll play for another hour and 15 minutes or so, finish it off. We'll play fairly snappily. I tend to really enjoy like a tighter show schedule, so we'll see how it works for us. I'm very excited about that. Before we get into the show, I wanted to talk to the audience about like the rating of the show and like safety tools that we're using at the table, just so that everybody feels comfortable that those things exist. So let's see, what did I say? All of this is in Discord, which is a great place for storing information, isn't it? Good. So the rating of our show is something that I'm taking off of CoCarnage called PG-16, which is like, I think basically it's like we're trying to aim for PG-13, but we're all human and we're probably going to mess up sometimes. So we might accidentally go over a PG-13 kind of rating, but we're not quite R. So
We're
yeah,
R?
like we're not rated R, even though you're going to die all the time. So it's like, cartoon death instead of like grisly, Quentin Tarantino death.
So no cursing.
It's not no cursing. It's gentle cursing.
And
When
where
appropriate.
do babies come from, Stephen?
Darn, Jeff. It's just, gosh
It's
dang
already
it.
begun. Oh no. Oh no.
What, the Jessup?
How are
Jessup is back.
Jesse and I supposed to have illicit sex? I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's,
Ship it now.
you're going to have to do that off camera.
All right.
That's what they always say at the beginning.
Okay. We also we use a couple of safety tools to make sure that everybody at the table is feeling comfortable. We've talked about these beforehand, but I want you as our audience to know that they exist. So I use two primary safety tools. The first one is called Lines and Veils, and the second one is called the X card. So lines and veils, a line is a thing that just doesn't appear in our game because it's not fun for one or more of us to play with. We just don't want it to exist because that's not what the game is about. So some of the things on that list include racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia. We're going to keep it friendly. We're not going to dig into complicated social issues. We're definitely not here to make anybody feel uncomfortable. So those things just don't exist. They don't exist at our table or in our game world, anything like that. Veils are things that can happen, but we draw a curtain across them and we don't zoom in on them. So the two veils that I always bring to the table are sex. So if people have sex, then that happens off screen. We'll say something like, yeah, the broad-chested, golden-haired Fabio smiles at you winningly and says, well, come upstairs to my room. And the two of you go upstairs and have a wonderful night together. And that's about
But how do we know what happened?
How will we know what happened, Jesse?
What happened?
I guess y'all just played a really great game of
Fanfic.
Cat's Cradle.
Thank you. That's
Fanfic
what's
is
at
going to write what
fanfics.
happened for us. I want to see
Fan
those
art.
photos.
Lots of monsters, but no sex. Sounds very American to me.
It's very American.
Bye. That's my bulldog.
And we're also going to draw a veil over torture, where it's like, okay, I want to like torture him to get the information. Okay, all right, let's roll for it. Let's fast forwards afterwards, because like detailed descriptions of torture are kind of gross. So we're just going to steer away from it. So that's just so that you at home know what to expect from the kind of show that we're running. We're also using the X card. So if anybody's ever feeling really uncomfortable about whatever, like if I am talking about spiders and one of our players is really grossed out about spiders, they can call on the X card and say, hey, I'm Xing this, which is basically a call for us to just like take a pause, reset. We will retcon the scene so that whatever was going on is no longer going on, and then we will continue in our new direction. So that's the way that we're going to run things, and I think it's going to be great. But outside of that, I think you will all be delighted by grotesque lumpkins and grisly deaths at the hand of the death trap dungeon that I've prepared for you. So I hope that you're going to love it. I like to talk about lines and veils by using the example of a fish. This is it's just a really fun way of exempling what these things mean. So if there were a fish in the dungeon, I would say if there were no line or veil drawn around the subject of fish. Before I start, is anybody really squicked out by fish? Everybody's okay with fish.
What kind of fish? Is it a shark?
It's not a shark.
Okay,
it is
we're
just
good.
a
Please
fish.
Continue.
All right, good. Just checking. If you get to the end of the dungeon and there's a fish sitting on the throne, I might say you enter the room and there are low torches burning on the walls and casting conflicting shadows across the grisly, slick visage of the ichthyoid sitting before you. Its grotesque round eyes gaze at you unblinking as its mouth bobs open in silence. Its gills breathe silently as it says, "Welcome to my domain, creatures. What do you need?" That's what neither a line nor a veil is like.
I thought you said this was PG-13.
That's a PG-13 fish. That's a PG-16 fish.
That's my raging waterfowl.
I'm not quite sure what roll to make here, Jesse, but I'm going to mount it. I believe is going to be the first thing.
No, you and the fish go upstairs and have a very nice.
Right, you have a very nice evening.
Okay.
I admire your impressive muscles and also your poor intelligence.
This somehow still turns me on.
So, if there were a veil drawn across fish, you would enter the throne room, and I would say, you enter the throne room, and fires burn low on the sides of the room, casting shadows across it's a fish. He greets you and says, "Welcome to my dungeon, heroes." And that's what a veil would be like. It's like, yeah, it's happening, but we don't look at it on screen. Cool. If there's a line drawn across fish, I would look at my notes and say, okay, you enter the throne room of the dungeon. There's fires burning low across the sides, and shadows are cast across the grotesque face of a bunny. It has big, sharp teeth and beady eyes. So that's
beautiful.
That's the way that works. So let's get started.
Yeah,
let's play some Dungeons and Dragons. I can't wait for y'all to meet the fish. It's going to be great. I'm glad that nobody's grossed out by fish. Or previously was not grossed out by fish. Okay. So, nearly 10 years ago, on the day known as Sunfall, the sun began to die, shedding its corona in a fiery aura across the heavens. Riding the waves of burning sunflesh came foul demons rampaging across the land. The world, peaceful in these late years, turned to scarcity and war. The greatest city in the known world, Ire, fell under the rulership of King Astafon IV, a hermetic and cowardly man, as he and his wealthy allies closeted themselves inside Ire's grand palace complex. Unrest spread within the city. Within a few short years, it had fallen to civil war. 4 months ago, after years of intense fighting, the revolutionaries had finally seized control of the city and beaten Astafon back to the walls of the palace compound itself, when all of a sudden, the ailing sun went dark. By the time it reignited, a short while later, a peace treaty had been signed, with all parties dedicating themselves to harmony and jolly cooperation, unified under a single purpose: to collaborate on finding a remedy for the dying sun. That was 4 months ago. But now, a desperate call for adventurers has gone out from the city, promising wealth beyond imagining if you are successful. Some great spell erupted within the palace compound, birthing what is called the phenomenon. An oil-slick rainbow bubble of energy, a permeable barrier surrounding the palace compound. Legions of warriors have been sent in, but legions are made for fighting on battlefields, and none has ever reported back or made their way back out of the phenomenon. You, on the other hand, are made of different stuff. So the four of you now stand on the path leading towards the palace compound of Ire. You four have traveled here from distant realms, each of you hailing from a distant city or town within this late year world. Each of you traveling for short distances or perhaps even hundreds of miles under the burning eye of the great red sun that hangs low in the heavens. Now you stand on the approach, In the distance ahead of you, you can see the palace compound walls. They are bright yellow. They're scorched and marked from the years of war that have been fought inside the city of Ire. Closer to you, the road winds its way around, curving to the left towards a pair of parapet gates, which stand on either side of a crevasse that rings the palace compound, and between them, a drawbridge. At your immediate approach, the road curves off towards the drawbridge, curving past burnt and blackened corpses that are skewered on assorted spears to the left and right of the road. The air is heavy with the smell of both rot and the stench of burning, fire, flesh, oil. In the center of the road in front of you, you all four notice a blackened, cloaked figure staggering in your direction. Before we go any further, I want to ask all four of you to describe what you look like as you stand here at this road. You've already passed through the barrier of the phenomenon. So somewhere back behind you, 10, 15 minutes walk, there's a large dead zone around the palace compound where the city of Ire rests outside of this dead zone, but then the palace compound is set behind. Some 10, 15 minutes walk behind you exists the wall of the phenomenon, a shimmering oil slick that can be seen in the background. Just to set the scene for you a little bit more, the light here is bright. The sun, bright red, is hanging low in the sky. The sounds here are very, very quiet. The air is still, and as the smells, as I mentioned, are rot and fire. Jeff, why don't you introduce your character? What is your name? What do you look like?
Sorry, I muted myself for the train. Armoros is a large, brutal, kind of looking soldier-esque kind of guy. He comes from what became a military city. It wasn't always that way, but with the Great Cataclysm, basically, people reacted pretty severely, and his society became very militaristic. He's got tattoos all over his body. They're all kind of angelic themed and very concerned with the other world and afterlife. And then his people have a strange, not quite affliction, but a effect, I guess, where their skin kind of glows a little bit. Not enough for it to be functional. I made sure not to try to write into my character a little bit of cheat. So in the dark, I will still be useless, but it's just a little bit of a ghastly heat shimmer type of an effect coming off of their body. And then he himself is just a severe kind of soldier-like character in the sense that he's got like a shaved head and thick. What is that? You guys hear that? Sorry.
No.
I heard like sandpaper. Anyways, that's you, Jesse. That was Jesse.
What?
Yeah, it was you. I could tell for sure. And then he's got golden eyes, not like literally glowing golden eyes, but just his eye color is gold. And then he's wearing chainmail. He's got a sword and shield. Looks to be your stock tank type guy. Imagine that. He's also stupid.
He's also stupid. Is Armoros the kind of person who would put himself at the fore of this group of people?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. For what, the group dynamic is, we're kind of just jumping in the middle of it, would be that at least for himself, he views himself as a first one in, last one out.
Nice. Cool. Let's see. I think I have a setup for this, actually. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Cool. I'm going to pull y'all's screen over to this image. So now you should be able to see. Perfect. Awesome. Let's hear from you, Britt. Who are you playing?
I'm playing Ankara. I'm a wood elf druid from the town of Murad. I have long brown hair with like pieces of white birch tied into it. So it kind of looks like a antler crown or whatever. And I have a leather vest and leather shorts. It's raw leather because I'm from the woods. And my entire body is covered in freckles because I've spent my entire life outdoors. Do you want me to talk more about their personality or anything, or just...
Well, you've got I think we'll see your personality as you continue playing, but you've got like bark in your hair in the shape of antlers, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like crown antlers. I basically look like I've crawled out from underneath a pile of leaves where I was sleeping.
Nice. Yeah, excellent. And are you more of a frontline person? Like, are you next to Armoros, or are you hanging back?
I mean, I might be next to him. I might be behind him, but I'm not like hanging back behind the group, because my character's main motivation for traveling the world is to get to know people and explore their cultures. So I'm very into like just diving into a group and very quickly becoming part of that group and close with them.
Awesome.
And serving them. So, yeah.
Super cool. And Bronze Girl, who are you playing?
Well, I told you my character's new name, but I never told Jesse. So.
I can change it now. It's okay. I can change it right now. We can make this happen. We can do this.
I'm sorry. It's Aya. We did change it in Roll20, thankfully. I was like, everyone's going to be confused. It's going to be different.
I got you.
Yeah, so my character
How do I
is
spell that though?
AYA, super easy, 3 letters. Yeah. So my character is tall and kind of slim. She wears really dark gray robes with a thick gold brocade that kind of lines it. Her robe is cinched around the middle with like a really dark red sort of sash. She wears rings on every finger. And she's the type of person who looks kind of aloof or above it all.
Is it fair to say you look very wealthy?
Yes, incredibly wealthy. She's always got the hello Smithers like kind of hands going on, the Mr. Burns hands, and nice. She has a really short crop of like really dark gray hair. Yeah. She also has like a little beauty mark like on her chin that is like a weird, so it like stands out a little bit. And sometimes it's like something that you feel like when you, sometimes it's in a different place, but you're not quite sure because it's always, yeah. So like you could have swore last week maybe it was on her nose, but this week it's on her chin. And yeah, she would probably be standing sort of close to the front with like almost like a hungry curiosity.
Awesome. So let's get you on this page. Are you maybe like fighting Armoros for like frontline position?
No, I'm standing over his shoulder.
Yeah, like immediately behind him.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And Jesse,
yes,
tell us about yourself.
So, how best to describe this lovely chap? Sarek is very sinewy and possibly at one point in time was a noble lord of some resound. However, for as tall and as fit as he is, he now seems sort of lackluster in appearance, and his outfit, which probably at one point was flowing and beautiful and had many bright colors, is now dull and dirty and worn down. He comes from the sister city of Ire to the north called and it is a big shipping town that long ago was a competing sort of location for the world's like biggest, best city, but soon fell under the rule of Ire and the queen who ruled it at the time. And so the families owe their loyalties to the much larger, much more prosperous city. And so Sarek has been tasked with coming to this location with all of these fine folks, mostly because he is an inquisitor and his job is to figure out what the hell is going on here and report back with information about exactly what is occurring inside this weird bubble, because so many people have gone missing, no one's come back, no one has any answers, and my job is to figure it out.
Totally. And Sarek, what's your species?
Oh, I am a half elf.
Nice. And Aya, you're a human, and Kara is a wood elf, and Armoros is also a human. And Sarek, do you hang back? Are you happy to let these other folk do their business ahead of you and pick up the pieces at the end?
Sarek stands a little further back, but close enough to witness everything, but not like hide, if that makes any sense.
Totally. Got it. Okay, cool. So I've got you all out on the map here. And as you walk forwards, this dark cloaked figure comes walking down the road, stumbling, in fact, and you can see the sands of the road are stained with blood as this figure walks towards you. As they see you, you can see their demeanor change. Their previously stolid plodding becomes sort of agitated. Their shoulders wrestling back and forth as a voice emanates, almost sounding as if it's emanating from their chest, more so than a voice box. They say, "Azi Dahaka will save us," and then this person collapses in the middle of the ground. Their hand is out in front of them, and there's something held in it, and that's what happens.
How close were they when they fell, Stephen?
Let's take a look at this. They're probably, let's see, that's 10, 20, 30. They're like 45 feet away. I'll put a little box in the ground here, a little ground black box. This is where, let's fill that in. Yeah, here is where the figure has collapsed. Sort of in between these spears that line the roads on the left and the right.
And we can readily see that he has something in his hand?
Yes.
Okay.
So once again, immediately around you, there's this road that's curving off towards this drawbridge of a little ways away. There are burnt, blackened corpses skewered on assorted spears to the side of the road, and this figure has collapsed in the middle of the road.
I guess then Armoros turns back to the group and says, "Strange dark man collapsed with something in his hand. I'll go get it."
Awesome. Do you just run up and grab it?
Not run, but a very confident stride forward, yes.
Cool. What about the rest of y'all? Do y'all just like stop and stand looking at each other? Like, y'all don't really know each other. I think the situation is something like adventurers have been flowing into the city of Ire over the last month. And there was maybe even like a compound set up to receive and process these adventurers. You four were stuck together and assigned a duty. And then your number was called and the four of you were sent in together. So this may be the first time that y'all have ever spent any real time together. Aya, what is your reaction to Armoros? The man has died. I will go get it.
Yeah. She nods and she's like, a man of action and few words. I like him.
Nice. Do you follow or do you just sit back and watch?
Nope.
Awesome. And Kara, what about you? What's your feeling about this?
I'm generally amused that he's just going out there. I've seen many humans make irrational decisions in my time on the earth. So I'm a little surprised. I'm kind of agreeing with Aya, like nodding at her, like, no, it's, impressive. Let's see how it goes, and just hanging back there.
And Sarek, how do you react to this?
Sarek has, for the most part, had like a hood up over his head, so he's not really like totally visible, and just sort of been hanging back and being very like aloof from the party. And he doesn't say anything; he just shakes his head. Like, this is a terrible, terrible idea.
Very Jessica Biel Blade 3. I like it. Very
You're
good
welcome.
aesthetic, Jesse.
Thank you.
Yeah, much like Jessica Biel in Blade 3, Sarek Bashaw shakes his head. What's your hair look like, Sarek Bashaw?
It is short and it is brown, and it is clearly at one point in time was probably cut very, very nicely, very like regal. That doesn't exist anymore. It is all over the place. It is messy as hell. This is definitely a character who probably a year ago was like a very awesome, assholey noble lord who everyone loved, and now is, for some reason, an inquisitor for the state.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. So, Armoros, you're walking forwards up to this body. Do you just approach? Do you stop short? Describe your approach to this body. It's holding something in its hand out in front of it.
I think what would stand in stark contrast is probably you should walk up with caution and stuff, but he just kind of like, as if a newspaper was dropped off in front of some kind of modern house. He just walks up, looks over down at the dead body.
Yeah.
And I should have given more of a physical description, but he's a large, foreboding character, very muscular. Strength is 16 or whatever, or no, it's 18. Yeah. Very, very strong. Looks down at it, and then he pulls out his sword, and his sword is in stark contrast to him. He's a lot of like white, angelic tattoos, that kind of stuff. Very light. Light actually comes off of him, but a sword almost swallows light. It seems to be the absence of light. It's dark. It has kind of a red glowing veins kind of going throughout it. So it's just a very weird contrast between the two. But he pulls out the sword. He's going to poke at the body a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Looks at the body and grabs the item.
Yeah, you poke at the body with your sword. There's no reaction. In fact, the cloth, though it holds the shape of this body, it gives way to your sword in a way that doesn't seem to correspond with there being a human shape inside of the cloth. And there's no reaction or anything. And the implement in this person's hand is an ornate carved dagger that's styled in the style of a serpent, and the blade is sinuous.
Okay, so I pick up the blade, and then I'm also going to if when I poke him with a sword, nothing's happening, I'm going to actually pull the cloak away.
Yeah, cool. You pull the cloak back, and the body just sort of explodes in snakes.
There is, in a moment like this, if he doesn't see he's in any kind of danger, he stares really long at it and just doesn't kind of move.
Yeah, there's they don't jump at you or anything. They sort of like hiss and scatter sort of towards the sides of the roads. So you grab that dagger, right?
Yep.
So go ahead on your character sheet. You'll notice down at the bottom, I've noted out all of your equipment according to the slots. For those of you who are watching at home, I've built up a new encumbrance system, and we're using that for now. So feel free to choose any of the empty slots, even any of the small ones, because this dagger is shorter than your forearm. So it's a small item. So you can put it in any of the slots. Ornate serpent dagger.
Okay. Yeah, I'll turn back to the group and say, he was not a man, but a bunch of snakes posing as a man.
There's 3 snakes stacked on top of each other in a suit.
Yeah.
As you reel back, pick up this dagger, tuck it away. Where are you putting it? Are you putting it in your belt, like on your hip, back in your backpack?
Still staring at the scattering snakes, he just kind of puts it in his belt.
Cool. Yeah. As you tuck it in your belt, staring at the scattering snakes, the camera sort of swings around and pans up, catching movement along the side of the road to over our Armoros's left shoulder. 2 of these corpses skewered on the spikes are grabbing the spikes and dragging their bodies up the length of the shaft. You can hear the wet squelching as their flesh rips free, and then they thump heavily to the ground. Both of them look at you, Armoros, with a slack-jawed glare, and their slack vocal cords fail to work as they exhale in your direction. Both of them pluck the spears that they were skewered on up out of the ground and begin rushing towards you. Would everybody make perception?
It's
roll?
a PG-13 show, Steve, and it took you 15 minutes or 2 men to grab their shafts. I'm impressed.
They're both very enthusiastic about using them on you.
Perception,
Good.
you said?
So, yes, perception. So Jesse rolled a 6, Britt a 9, Armoros a 1.
But if you get, I'll have some advantage. Yay, because with the
let's see. Okay, good. And Bronze Girl rolled a 10. So I think all of you are completely surprised. Let's go.
No, I'm the absence of surprise. I don't even know what's happening.
I am Armoros's complete lack of surprise. Let's see. I'll grab these zombies, move them down to the token layer so that we can see them. Here they are. Fantastic. Okay, so let's see. I'll do this, and then there's some special way to add turns. Let's take a look at
that's so funny. It's either a 1 or a 20. It's so
Yeah, it's the opposite rolls for both Britt and Jeff with critical 20s. Jasmine being very consistent with that double 10. All right, would each of you select your token and then roll initiative?
Yeah.
And the zombies, I think, are super slow.
Yay. Maybe.
Not bad. Britt got an 8. Fantastic. Zombies get that fat -2.
Look at you go, Jasmine, and this.
I know. I'm fast.
And the zombies get an 8. Fantastic. And Sarek Bashaw, I need your initiative roll as well.
You, Jesse. Just
What
hit
am
that
I?
little
Sorry, I'm clicking my actual my dude.
Click on your token and then click on the initiative word in your sheet. It's just a word. Just click it.
I can't.
It's 2 clicks, young man. All you have to do is just clickety-clackety.
I'm sorry.
Clickety-clackety.
I've never done that clickety-clack before. That was
All right,
new
there
for
we
me.
go. Very well done. Well done, Jesse. Thank you for joining the rest of the team. All right, good.
That was
Here
a
we
new
are.
experience.
All right. So all 4 of you, unfortunately, are surprised. So the 4 of you lose your first rounds of combat.
Fantastic.
So I think Aya sees this first. Sarek sees it shortly after. Armoros, you probably turn around and look at the rest of the group, or seeing things. And Kara, you are also fully aware of these shambling figures lurching towards Armoros, but he is not. So Armoros, I think probably two spears come whizzing through the air, humming with the force of the throw from these dead bodies, their dead muscles propelling them at impressive speed. Let's see. That's a 13, which doesn't hit, and a 1, which also doesn't hit. And then they shamble in your direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2.
Critical fail, even, Steven. You rolled a 1 there.
4. I did roll a 1. That was really shit. It flew over the road and it landed in the chest of one of these other corpses that are blackened and rotting on the other side of the road.
Nice.
And that's it for the 2 zombies. They've moved. They've attacked. Aya, finally, your shock at seeing these things pulling themselves up the lengths of their spears has worn off, and you are ready to act.
Yeah. I first off pretend like I wasn't shocked at all. And, from within my robes, I pull out this big, just really gaudy golden skull with rubies as eyes. And, and I hold it aloft in front of me.
Yeah.
And start speaking in arcane tongues. And as I do so, I send a large, ball of green eldritch energy at the zombie that is closest to me. So the one that's
Awesome.
down the road.
Yeah, zombie number 1. It's walking in y'all's direction. It doesn't seem terribly interested.
It's not going to be walking much longer.
Yeah. Roll it up.
Well, hopefully. Watch me roll. Shit.
20. Not a critical hit, but still very well done for 7 damage. Not bad at all. Yeah, your bolt rips into the undead flesh of this creature as it shambles in your direction, tearing a chunk out of its side. Sarek, are you familiar with magics like this? It's your turn. There is a creature coming in your direction.
I am familiar with the stories of stuff like this, but I haven't ever seen it. I've lived pretty much a privileged life. However, I feel like all things, if you just hurt them enough, they will die. And so, from underneath the layers of dusty formal regalia, Sarek reveals a very ornate, what probably was at one point a very special crossbow. But it I'm sorry, short bow. My brain is dead. A very ornate short bow, and pulls back and begins to fire at one of the figures. Probably the one
Fantastic. The closer
approaching
one?
us. Yes.
Awesome. An 18 is a solid hit. Your arrow thudding and punching its way through the sternum of this creature as it walks forwards. You can click the word shortbow in chat in order to roll your damage.
You're telling me I just click on this word and it does it for me?
You just click and clack, and then it's all taken care of for you, man. It's real impressive. All right, fantastic.
Google and iPhones, amazing.
Another 7 damage, really starting to tear into the structural integrity of the zombie as it wanders down the road under the hot red sun. Now, Armoros, you're facing back towards the group, but there is this zombie to your right now. On the western side of the road, hissing and gurgling in your face. What do you do?
So, sticking with the Blade theme, if you will draw your attention to Blade 2, in which case, when they investigate the corpse of a Reaper strain vampire-infected guy, even with its body dead, when fed blood, it becomes a well-oiled machine that only knows its instincts. And thus is true with Armoros. He may be dumb, but in battle, he knows his way around brutality. So with a quick... There's a zombie walking towards the group, but I'm within 30 feet, I believe, of moving.
Yes.
To intercept it, right?
Absolutely. If you left your currently engaged zombie, it would get an attack of opportunity. But yes, you could move to intercept the other zombie.
You call it attack of opportunity, Stephen. Armoros calls it an attack of cowardice, and it is beneath him. So he's going to shoulder past the zombies he's engaged with to intercept the one approaching the group and get in front of it.
Nice.
And then attack it.
You move around here, and then you attack zombie number 1. Zombie number 2 does take a swing at you, missing you entirely with an 11 versus your 18 armor class. I'm assuming that you are wielding your shield at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. You come around in front of zombie number 1, and you strike at it. Go ahead and roll.
Yes. One-handed, of course. 21.
21 hits. Roll that damage. 6 damage. Not quite enough to knock it down, but it is looking pretty rough. And Kara, can you finish it off?
I sure hope so. Well, as a druid, I'm not necessarily always enthusiastic about killing things. These seem to be undead, so I am going to shoot my short bow at it.
Fuck him up.
The one closest to us.
Cool, the one engaged with Armoros. A 15 is a hit. Yeah, these things are terrible. With they're slow and unpleasant. Good. 5 damage is quite a lot to a creature this weakened. However, as your arrow punctures through its eye socket,
turns into snakes, doesn't it?
It starts sinking to the ground, but let's see if it makes it all the way. Oh no. Zombies are hard to put down, and your arrow didn't quite do the trick. So it's still standing, and it lurches forwards and grabs at Armoros.
Son of a biscuit.
It's actually providing, I think mostly what it's trying to do, Armoros, is like walk through you. But in the course of trying to do that, it is distracting.
Should we have a strength contest then, Stephen?
We should not, because what it's actually doing is providing the help action to the other zombie, which gives it advantage on its attack. And with the advantage on the other zombie's attack, it rolls a critical hit, grabbing you as you attempt to wrestle with the other zombie in front of you and dealing you 2d6 plus 1 damage.
Fantastic.
So, Armoros, this zombie bites into your shoulder and drags flesh out of it, and you fall to the ground unconscious.
Yeah, I got 11 hit points.
It did you 11 damage.
Second wind is a thing you do mid-battle, right? I can't do it when I'm knocked out or anything like that.
You can't do it when you're knocked out. It is a thing. It's an action you can take, yes. So... awesome. What are y'all's reactions to seeing Armoros just get fucking blasted by this zombie?
Well, he's definitely infected.
Awesome.
And he's big. So when he gets back up, we're going to have very big problem because he is definitely infected. I've seen this before.
Excellent. Aya, it is your turn. You're the one who gets to react. There's one zombie on the other side of Armoros's prone body, and one zombie closer to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I am going to pull from my cloak a small dusty vial that has what looks like a desert like scarab in it.
Oh,
and I'm going to take that and crush it. And then once, like sort of place my other hand on top of my gold skull, and you start to hear like the humming of like several bugs as they start to like almost be drawn to me. And awesome. I'm going to try to potentially try to get the one that tore a chunk out of him, try to maybe distract him, or so these scarabs, these flesh-eating scarabs just swarm it. I don't know how effective it's going to be because it doesn't have a lot of flesh on it.
All right, so it's a DC 13 Constitution save. It's poison damage.
Yes.
And it moves 5 feet in a random direction. Yeah. All right, let's see. So Constitution. Oh, no.
Where's that one now, Steven?
So this zombie, it's got scarabs crawling all over it. But even more than sort of shrugging this off and muscling through, you can tell, Aya, that this zombie is just completely unfazed.
Yeah.
It does not care. They are chewing into its flesh, and it just like, it's completely unfazed. Is that all you wanted to do? Did you want to move anywhere?
Let's see. That was one of my actions, right?
That was you get move, action, and bonus action.
Yeah. Bonus action. I'm gonna see this and calmly just kind of nod and then just step behind the little wood girl and be like, "Well, that was me. That's all you now."
All right, cool. So you step back 5 feet. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sarek, it's your turn. That's you, Jesse.
Yeah, having witnessed what is probably one of the most amazing things seen ever, Sarek sort of backs off a little bit, and moves a little further behind everyone, almost apprehensive, like, oh, this is not at all what I thought this was going to be, and just sort of backs off and sort of bundles up cloakwise and tries to get one more shot with the short bow off, but not. This is more of like a maybe we should go back the way we came kind of shot. Like, I'm halfway out of here.
Yeah, you're like ready to check out. Cool. Right. Yeah. Are you shooting at zombie number 1, which is nearly dead, or zombie number 2, which
the nearly dead zombie?
Okay, cool. Roll it up. 22, not quite a crit. It looks like you rolled a 17, so go ahead and roll your damage. 8 damage, not bad at all. Let's check out that saving throw. You've placed another arrow solidly through the zombie's other eye, and it dies, falling to the ground and slumping over in death.
Sarek looks at it and sees that it's fallen to the ground and sort of like kind of comes back into it like, I wasn't running, everything's fine.
This is no problem.
Yeah, everything's good. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, good. Armoros, it's your turn, which means that from you, I need a death saving throw.
All right. Death save. Just click death save, I guess.
Yep. An 18 is a success, which means you've achieved 1 success. So in 5th edition, when you're at 0, you need either 3 successful death saving throws to stabilize or 3 failed death saving throws, and then you are dead. If you get a 20, you pop back up to life with 1 hit point. And if you get a critical fail, if you roll a 1, you lose 2 death savings. You accrue 2 failed death saves. So this is pretty good. Britt and Kara, what are you going to do? You're actually in front of the rest of the group in the middle of this bright.
Yeah. And Aya's like nudging her. Yeah, Aya's nudging her like, you got
both
this.
of them.
You got it. Just do what he did. Go ahead.
I see Sarek like obviously is like started walking away, is kind of coming back, and I'm just kind of like, guys, come on. How dare you? This is an adventure. We decided to come here. We're not gonna go back out of the bubble now. So I still have my short bow in my hand, my homemade forest short bow.
Awesome.
And I'm going to shoot it at the second zombie.
Oh, Sarek, you just shot your short bow again, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let Britt finish, and then we'll come back to you. So, and Kara, because you have brought extra arrows with you, you basically, under normal use cases, you never need to worry about how many arrows you have. You have an infinite number. Sarek actually has to be in checking to see if he's running out. Actually, no, that's on a per encounter basis for ammunition. So we'll do that at the end of the encounter.
Okay.
All right. Yes, and Kara, an 11 hits your arrow punching into the side of the zombie's ribs. Roll that damage. 6 piercing damage. Not bad. The zombie turns and looks at you and Kara, and then like its jaw sort of unhinges on one side and it opens its mouth and whispers at you. And then it starts moving in your direction. 1, 2, 3. Oh shit, 4. And then it bites at you.
No!
Oh no, a 17 definitely hits.
I mean, I'm dead, right? Like,
plus 1.
You rolled an
Okay.
11, yes.
You took 5 points of damage from the bite of this zombie.
Tight.
So with your 10 hit points, you are still actually totally fine.
Sick. For my bonus action, can I cast Cure Wounds on?
Oh, right. Okay, so hang on. I deprived you of your full turn.
I'd like to use my full turn, please.
Damn.
Thank you. Your Cure Wounds, I don't think is a bonus action spell, but I think
healing is
Word
a healing
is.
word. Yeah, healing word is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so would I cast that now, or is that like I have to cast that and then the zombie takes its turn?
You would cast that, and then the zombie would take its turn.
Okay,
so
so
you
I
could
should
cast
cast
Healing
that
Word on Armara.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Awesome. So what does it look like when you cast Healing Word?
I guess I would do like a small flourish with my hands of some sort. Where it's the healing comes from my heart. So it goes here, and then I send it over.
Awesome. So you do a little
like
flourish.
a light
Healing pours out of your heart.
Send it over. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what I planned all along. That's what it is.
Fantastic. So you get to roll 1d4 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which I think for you is Wisdom.
Yes. So I believe that 3?
Let's see. Yes, it's plus 3.
Thank you.
All right, Armoros, you gain 4 hit points. You rolled that big old 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's better than 0 hit points by a
I didn't
long
pull
shot.
from my heart enough.
Anything
Yeah.
is appreciated.
So that was Ankara, and then the zombie came up, and then it bit you, and you lost 5 hit points. And
Yeah.
Aya, it's your turn, and in your ears, Aya, you hear a familiar and sinister chuckle.
Oh God, not this again.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you want to do?
First off, I'm gonna put some distance between myself and Ankara because she is now infected.
Yeah, go ahead and move yourself wherever you want to be. You've got, I think, 30 feet of movement.
Yeah, she's definitely infected now.
6 squares.
Yep, that's dangerous. It's a dangerous situation to be in. I'm gonna move this way cautiously. Let's see. Right, I can move there. Yeah,
Totally.
and then kind of triangulating a good position there. And then I'm gonna reach into my other sleeve and pull out like a sort of ornate dagger and just very deftly.
How many sleeves do you have? Is this your third sleeve?
No, I keep my skull in one. And
Okay, skull in one sleeve, dagger in the other sleeve.
Yeah.
Do you ever get them mixed up?
Sometimes I've accidentally thrown my skull at people before.
Oh, okay, good.
And I've accidentally tried to cast using my knife. Both have been interesting situations. Shockingly, the skull was pretty damn effective when thrown like a weapon. It's pretty heavy.
Oh, that's heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Roll your thrown dagger.
All right, let's do it.
What? You got that fat 9, which is good. You hit.
Well, Sam.
Go ahead and roll your damage. 6, eh? Oh, no, wait. You rolled a 3. The +3 was for the possible crit, which you're doing great on rolling those crits on your secondary dice rolls. Cool. So you do 3 damage, which is great. Yeah, the zombie turns and looks at you, and it opens its mouth and unhinges its jaw and goes, and then you hear a voice whisper in your mind, Aya, I think he's coming for you. Sarek, it's your turn.
Sarek, now filled a little emboldened by what's occurred and seeing the fact that while his companions may be fools and idiots, he so far has done very well for himself, and it kind of emboldens his, like, you know what, I can do this. So he takes a much more defiant, clear shot with his short bow.
Awesome. So, Sarek, we need to make note of this. Nope, never mind. That's on the encounter. Go for it.
Yeah.
You got an 11, which hits your arrow driving home. Roll your damage. 8. Dang, that's a solid hit. Very well done. Excellent. Armoros, you've just been awakened from your near-death state by the healing word of Ankara. Looking around you, there's a dead zombie right next to you, and then back behind you, 15 feet or so, another zombie looking gravely wounded, fighting the rest of your party. What do you do?
Armoros picks himself up angrily, huffs and puffs, and stomps after the backside of the zombie, attacks it.
Sarek, chat is asking, what about your sneak attack? So you definitely qualify for sneak attack damage here. Go ahead and roll that.
Sure.
And then you can just click sneak attack. Yeah, you do it at 2 additional damage to the zombie. All right. So Armoros, you run up to the zombie and then
roll a 24.
Oh, wow. Yeah, awesome. For 7 damage, which is a solid chunk. Let's see if it's enough. Let's see. Yes, the zombie is still up and fighting, unfortunately. Do you have any bonus actions or movement actions you want to do here, Armoros?
I'll take can you take second wind as a second action?
I think second wind is an action. Why don't I look it up while we hear what's happening with Ankara?
Yes.
There's a zombie right in front of you. It's looking in Aya's direction now.
Yeah, it just did it bite me on the shoulder? It just bit a chunk out of me and then
totally
bit me and then backed up. I'm obviously horrified. This is terrible. And I really need this thing to die. So I'm going to take my short bow and just hold it right in front of its eyeball. I just really need to make sure this thing dies. So I shoot it right in the eye, point blank.
Now, I have bad news for you about shooting while you are engaged in melee.
No!
If there's an enemy within 5 feet of you, you have disadvantage on the attack, which means that instead of that beautiful 19...
No!
You actually rolled that 1.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
Chat's saying it's a bonus action, by the way, Steve.
That is correct. I just looked it up. You do get second wind as a bonus action, so feel free to use that if you wanted to.
Okay, what do I use? How do I use that?
That was for Armoros, Britt.
Oh, okay.
I guess I'm at 7.
7 hit points, definitely better than none. Okay, Ankara, you have a bonus action which you can use if you have anything that triggers a bonus action. You can also move if you want.
But then I have attack of opportunity, right?
And you get an attack of opportunity.
Yeah. Let me see. I guess I can cast Healing Word on myself now, right?
Is it Healing Word a level 1 spell?
Yeah. I'll just cast that on myself, so I hopefully don't die.
Yeah. Roll your 1d4 plus your spellcasting modifier. Hey, 6 hit points back actually puts you up to full health. Well done.
Hey.
It's a good thing you didn't waste that healing on the fighter. That would have been
I know.
really embarrassing.
She did great.
She did great. All right. Armoros, this zombie moves out of your threat range, staying within Ankara's threat range in order to move over towards Aya. Aya, this zombie is just marching in your direction.
Wait, Steven, it disengages is what you're saying?
It did.
It has that action?
It didn't disengage, so you get an attack of opportunity.
That's what I'm going for, Steve.
Oh, that 23 for 9 damage. Very strong. Let's see how that... Oh, nice. So tell us what it looks like when your sword eliminates this zombie.
Well, I think my first hack buried into its shoulder blade or whatever, and it just kind of starts to lurch away. And Armoros looks extremely confused for a second, like, excuse me, bitch, kind of look like he's like, hello. So he puts his hand on the other shoulder with the shield. He's just like clanks it on the top of it.
Yeah.
And then hacks the top of its head off. Nice.
Awesome. Aya, is there any kind of spray from the zombie as it's just disintegrated by Armoros' attacks?
I hope not.
Are you worried about that at all?
I definitely, yeah.
So would you like back up if you saw that happen? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
for sure.
I think you're outside of the
that's good
contamination radius.
Yeah,
but Armoros and Ankara definitely.
Yeah, the fight's over, right? They're all dead.
Yeah, the fight is over. They're all dead. Let's wait.
Well, I think as the body clunks to the ground, some recognition comes from Armoros scans the group and sees Sarek hiding in the corner.
What?
Aya's thumbing her wrist or whatever, and looks at the girl who looks like she woke up under a bunch of leaves. And I'm gonna roll. You are a 3. I'm gonna roll a 1d4. And he says, "Oh my God, he got it right." He looks at you and says, "You probably saved my life. Thank you for healing me."
Who? Ankara?
Literally Ankara. He just guessed.
Nice.
He has no fucking clue who anyone is. And I said you're a 3, and I rolled a 1d4 and got a 3. He nailed it.
Do I know how stupid he is yet or not?
I mean, I think you know only based on what you've seen from him.
You're very welcome. I'm I'm much more distracted by the bite out of my shoulder. I'm kind of irritated that he's thanking me because I'm just I have shit to deal with here.
There's still risk of infection.
Do you say that?
Yeah. Yes. I think I might have something I might be able to provide you with that will prevent you from turning into one of these vile beasts, provided you have the coin to pay for it.
It's very generous of you.
When you say coin to pay for, what kind of coin do you speak of?
The gold kind.
He just kind of stares blankly at you.
How much gold coin to fix this?
We'll talk. Don't worry. Next time we sit and rest, I'll see. I can cure just about anything that might be plaguing you. I mean, you wouldn't want to turn into one of those things, would you? You're such a pretty girl.
If not how much, then at least how many.
Sorry.
So Aya is trying to flirt with Ankara, and Armoros is just tell me about it.
No, I appreciate that a lot. And I thank her, and then I decide to walk over to Armoros and ask if I can heal him until we are able to sit down.
Please do. And then he kind of lowers his voice, but it doesn't almost lower at all. He says, she said that you're pretty, but that's not the end of the sentence. Pretty what?
Now, Britt, I have bad news.
What? I can't do it?
You cast 2 healing words in that last fight.
Oh, yeah. I can't do it. Sorry. Never mind.
And you have no more spell slots.
I'll help you later.
Awesome. Tomorrow. I'll help you tomorrow. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we should go to a 5-minute break, given that we're at about halfway through our playtime. Before we do, I want you all to look in the upper right-hand corner of the combat screen here. There is the clock. I am reducing the clock's life by 1 because you took, over the course of this fight and then binding your wounds and recovering your breath afterwards, fights in this game take about 10 minutes just to like start and then finish and wrap up nicely so that you're ready to head on. So 10 minutes have passed. The clock loses 1 segment. And when we come back, we will find out what horrors await you as you continue on your adventures. So, Jesse, do you want to take us out to a break?
Sure, of course I do. All right, we'll be back soon with some more. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Sunfall Cycle, Episode 1. We've got about 1 more hour of gameplay for you tonight, so let's hop right back into it. We rejoin our heroes under the hot sun of the city of Ire, standing on the pathway leading up to the approach to the palace compound itself. The sun above, is a bright red orb that hangs large and low in the sky. Armoros, you just got dropped by a zombie and then picked back up by Ankara, who you properly surmised was responsible for your saving. Ankara, you also ran afoul of a zombie, but picked yourself back up with no problem. Now, Armoros, you spent your second wind, right?
Yes, sir.
So I think on your sheet, you should mark that down. Again, under flaws on the right-hand side of your sheet, you've got a box that's tracking how many second winds you have. I think that second wind as a resource comes back on a short or long rest.
Hit dice, yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, awesome. So just make sure you're tracking that. All right,
Wait, is hit dice the second one different?
Hit dice and second wind are different, yes.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so the key there is that you still have 1 hit die, and you can spend that if you take a short rest. You can recover hit points that way. So yeah, what do you all want to do now? The road curves up ahead towards this drawbridge that you see sort of close by. It's probably 200, 300 feet down the road.
Sarek has begun sketching everything that is viewable. From memory, the combat with the undead, the weird snake man, all of it just jotting down in a journal. Except for some reason, Sarek is the hero, and no matter what in this story. And he was the one who touched the snake man, and he was the one who shot flaming skull scarabs. And it's just
so you're drawing like little cartoons that position Sarek as the hero. Are you like looking closely at any of the surroundings around you?
Yes, I'm trying to draw in detail everything that we've just been through.
What are you most interested in looking more closely at? Again, in the distance, there's those palace compound walls. Close to you, the road winds down towards a pair of parapet gates and the drawbridge over the crevasse that's surrounding the thing. There's these burnt blackened corpses on the spears to the sides of the road. Yes,
Sarek is focusing more on the road and the sides of the, because he's seen the palace many times.
Okay.
Not in this state, but it's not like of interest to him at the moment. What his interest is the outside area and the vast difference of what is in the city proper, like beyond the sort of whatever that is, that gateway.
The phenomenon, yes. Or are you talking about what's in the city, which is outside behind you, or
no,
what's
I'm talking
in
about like what's
compound?
through the phenomenon inside, and the vast differences between the two. And he's trying to pick up like what could have happened, and he's just drawing down different things.
Yeah, awesome. So the area that you're on, there's this road that is paved with tightly fitted stones, and then sanded. There's sand scattered across the road. The lands to your left and right have the markings of a battlefield from months ago, but it's very clear that wars were fought pushing back and forth across this no man's land between the palace compound in front of you and the city proper behind you. You can tell from your continued examination of the corpses on the sides that these spears that the zombies picked themselves up off of and threw, those spears were not blackened and not burned, unlike the rest of the spears holding up the rest of the corpses.
Steven, what is a short rest?
What is a short rest? A short rest in this game is 10 minutes. You sit down, you catch your breath, you recover a little bit of your power, and then you press on.
May I ask that we wait like 10 minutes to rest?
Just like 10 minutes.
Is that okay with everyone?
Sarek.
That's up to
Sarek
y'all.
does not at all pay attention to you and just keeps working. So, yeah, it feels like a 10-minute rest would be fine because he is not at all ready to move on yet anyway.
Okay,
cool.
I'm going to do that then.
Yeah, nice. So, oops, that's not what I wanted to do.
And now I'm max health.
Awesome. We tick down one segment on the clock. We take a 10-minute rest. Jeff recovers 9 hit points, which puts you back up to your maximum of 11. Everybody's feeling well rested. Now, not Ankara, but Aya, as a warlock, you recover your spells on a 10-minute rest. So you are now ready to cast your spell slots again.
Yeah, I only used cantrips, but
isn't infestation a spell?
no, it's a cantrip.
Damn. Right, that's crazy.
When I wake up Steven, by the way, I drag the corpses off the spears and hack their heads off.
Just like every single one.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's going to take some time. Armoros.
Oh, he's really quick about it, Steven. It should take no time at all. Have no impact whatsoever.
So it's around.
I can let you make a strength saving throw, and then we'll see how long it takes. If you fail a DC 12 saving throw, then it's going to take you 10 minutes.
With advantage, right?
Can I kind of try to reason with him? I'm gonna wave at him and be like,
yeah, sure. Armeros is already taking corpses down and hacking their heads off, and go for it.
Listen here, you're a strapping young lad, and I commend your foresight, but don't you see the difference in the spears here? These corpses were burned, and that's why they didn't come back to life, and these ones were not, and that's why they did. So chopping their heads off is just have to set them on fire, it would appear, and that's already happened. So
he's kind of breathing heavily because he's been going really quickly about this.
Yeah,
his sword and seems to be thinking really long and hard about what you said.
Yeah,
and he's like, when you said foresight, you understand you only have 2 eyes. You can only 2 sight things. You cannot 4.
In this, you are correct, young man. But unlike me, and I pull out my skull, see, I do have 4 eyes and 4 sight, and therefore I'm commending you on your superior intellect and intelligence in doing this thing.
No one has ever said that to me.
From behind, Sarek just whispers under his breath, "The skull doesn't have eyeballs."
I don't hear that, but I continue on with my work. This time I'm a little bit more proud, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So, another 10 minutes passed. We strike off another segment of the clock. And by this time, Armoros, you have separated all of the heads from all of the bodies, and they all lie on the side of the road, various ichors leaking out of them onto the baked clay under the bright red sun above you. Sweat is just dripping off of your face. Yeah.
But he feels invigorated, and pile of heads, pile of bodies.
Pile of heads, pile of bodies. Cool. It's like one pile of heads on the right side, bodies on the left, or is it like?
No, it looks like a almost a Nickelodeon challenge where you're supposed to run down the road, but bring the bodies off the spears and hack them to pieces.
Okay. Yeah. Totally.
Yep.
You remember that show from your childhood, the theater of the Nickelodeon. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a Ooze episode, or something like that.
Awesome. Cool. So you've cleaned up the corpses. You feel satisfied now. What's the next step?
Well, when I see Sarek like furiously scribbling in his notebook, I walk over and kind of look over his shoulder to see what notes he's taking. And I just ask him, so those are your notes?
Sarek is the exact opposite of what you expect someone secretly taking notes. He just shows them to you. And just like he's like, yes, I've been taking several of them. I have others if you'd like to see them.
Oh, maybe later. I literally I don't care that he's making up all of the lies. I'm just amused at his note taking, and I think it's very interesting.
All right. How do your notes portray Ankara?
Just like, unfortunately, even though he is a very good note taker and can draw forests and buildings and landscapes very, very well, people he sucks at. So basically, you have Amaros, who is just a stick figure with huge arms, and you have Aya, who just is like a stick figure with another head in like that stick figure's hand. And then you have Ankara, who is just a stick figure with boobs. And that's like it. Yeah.
It's nice. It's really
Pretty
nice.
lady.
It's a good effort that you've put into this. Do you know who Ozzy Dahaka is? I see you're taking notes. Do you have any notes about Ozzy Dahaka?
Unfortunately, no, but I think with enough research we could find out together.
I look again at the drawing of me. It's just a stick figure with boobs, and I just go, sure. Yeah, we could do that.
Have you seen these trees? Look how detailed these trees are. I'm working on my people. I'm new at this.
Those are very, very accurate trees. As a wood elf, I can say with full confidence that you are well on your way to be.
The branches out of proportion. I
If
trust
only you shot arrows as well as you're shooting your shot right now.
He looks back over and you mean very, very well? Is what you're saying? I'm very good at that part. Have you seen the walls? I've designed these walls. Perfect.
As he's talking, I just kind of like nod and sort of just like walk away. Yeah. Because I just want to know who Ozzy Dahaka is.
Yeah. Are you just walking down the road, Ankara?
I'm just kind of like, I walked back to him, like kneeled down to talk to him. He's like sitting on the ground, and I'm just like, yeah. Show me more of those trees. I'd love to see more sketches later.
Oh, I think he's got a tree to show you.
It's like,
I have many trees. And he starts flipping through pages of just all these trees. And you can see there's been some progress. Like the first couple are stick figure trees, like really crappy trees. But slowly he's just flipping through, and there's hundreds of pages in this book.
And I see as I'm walking away that he actually has improved. So I decided to give him the smallest amount of credit.
Nice.
Well, he is getting better at drawing.
Awesome.
Useful.
So are you leading the party up the road in the direction of the drawbridge?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of just trying to like just nope myself out of the situation. Like,
yeah, totally.
We should go up this way. Why don't we all walk up here?
Excellent.
Seems
So
like
after a minute or two of strolling, the party finds themselves at the foot of this pair of towers. In the distance, again, beyond this crevasse, you can see the palace compound walls. Near to where you're currently standing, there's this wide, deep, yellow-walled, rough-cut crevasse, an ancient moat-like fortification around the palace compound of Ire. It's crossed by a sturdy wooden drawbridge built out of heavy, thick beams. Chains appear to stretch from the far towers on the opposite side of the crevasse down to the end of the bridge that is closest to where you are. The opposite side is flanked by towers, and the way between the towers is open. However, in your immediate vicinity, there's this pair of towers that flank a thick iron-banded wooden door, which is closed, blocking the way to the drawbridge. And the two towers on either side of this door are joined at the top of the door with a stone archway that looks like it could easily have like habitable space inside of the two towers. Each of them are about 20 feet wide. Stone fortifications. There are each tower has a light wooden door at the front center of it, and there is a woman who is sitting on an improvised lean stool in the shade of the towers. She's wearing a guard's uniform and has a ring of keys on a hook on her belt.
Woman, we've come to enter the castle. Open.
She looks at you and says, open the door? No, I'm sorry. That is against my mission here.
What is your mission?
Why, I am tasked with guarding the city of Ire. I must keep the doors closed.
Do those keys open the door?
She sort of looks down at her belt and then looks back at the four of you. No.
Kind of looks, he's like, then what do the keys do?
I keep my personal belongings in a chest, and I don't want my companion messing with them, and that's what the keys are for.
Armoros looks back at the group and in an attempt at a hushed tone says, I shall scale the wall, slay the woman, take her keys, possibly get the chest.
Armoros, maybe we don't have to. First of all, speak so loudly. And second of all, maybe we can just talk things through with her.
The other option is, of course, I could hit her with a crossbow. She may fall in this direction. But
she's sitting at the base of the tower.
No, she's like right in front of you.
Yeah, you're just talking to her right there.
It's fine.
I'm just looking at her.
I can still hit her with a crossbow.
If you want to one speak to her, you can, but I will only give you so much time before I will slay this woman, most certainly, and take her keys.
That's fair. That's fair. I think you might upset some of the other people traveling with us, though.
Certainly her family.
Your friend is charming, she says.
I look at her, raise an eyebrow, and I say, not half as charming as me. I stride towards her and say,
yeah, she blushes.
Maiden, it would behoove you to open this gate for us, for we shall not take no for an answer. But if you could give me yes as an answer, your day might end better than it started.
I'm terribly sorry. Those are some fancy words, but I couldn't get past maiden. You're making some heavy assumptions about me.
Well.
So where are you from?
Myself. Yes, I'm from a small town not far from here. A small mining town. It's cute. You'd like it there. You should visit sometime.
Is there anyone else within eyesight, by the way?
No, actually. You glance around and you can't see anybody else from your position in front of these towers.
If you make an attack when someone's not aware, don't they just instantly die?
Jeff, if I institute that rule now, that's standard for the entire game.
No, don't do that. Not like this.
Yeah, I think it's just
something that you want.
I feel like it's just an NPC thing, as far as
y'all better hold him back.
Yeah, you could definitely make an attack. I think I would give you advantage for attacking from surprise if she was distracted. So keep that in your pocket. Let me describe this woman to you, Aya. She's sitting on this stool that's like one peg stuck in the ground with a stool flat surface. So she's really just sort of like leaning, balancing on it, with like her feet providing the other like points of contact with the earth. She has fire red dyed hair, cut in a side shave. She has really impressive biceps, just like they are cut.
Yeah.
She's
I don't want to
tawny.
fight her.
tawny brown skin with copper highlights, and her eyes are bright yellow. She's wearing the guard attire of the city of Ire, which is an orange tunic with turquoise trim. It's cinched around her waist with a leather belt, and it's worn over top of what sounds like, as she moves, a chain shirt. She has a thick hide shield at her side and a brace of spears hanging across her back.
Nice.
Yeah, so I shoot her in the head, I guess.
No!
Do you actually do that?
No, I'm kidding.
She's gonna rip us limb from limb. Did you see those biceps?
Those biceps are going to rip you limb from limb. Yeah, she's still smiling at you, Aya. Like, oh yeah, cute mining town. She like stretches and like flexes her biceps. She's like, mining, huh? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, you fit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What brings you to the city?
Well, see, that's the thing. We need to get in
the sites,
and you're not letting us in, and that upsets me.
You know, it
does. You're such a lovely creature, and yet you say these things that just upset me so, and it's such a conflicting feeling inside of me. It's such confliction. I really want to like you.
I like where you're going with this. Really, I do. But you know, the city it's back behind you. The palace compound, it's boring. It's the king and his staff and all the other guards. They're real boring. But we could. I mean, there's some great places in the city. I could meet you later. I could show you my favorite bar.
What's your name?
What is her name? Ellis. I'm Ellisovet.
Alice.
Say, you got any wine? I'm pretty parched. It's a little warm.
Yeah, actually, I do. Do you want to step inside and maybe we can have a cup or two? You have no idea what happened back there. We were in a little bit of a tussle. My poor friends basically got half eaten. They're probably infected. I don't know.
That sounds gross.
Why don't you follow me in and I'll just talk to you about it real quick, and I'll pour you a glass of wine and maybe we can exchange some contact information.
Well, why don't you roll a persuade check? Let's see.
I'm going to persuade
nearby or anything, Stephen?
the pants right off of her.
Sorry, Jeff, what was that?
Is there like a river or anything? Anybody?
So you're looking down over the edge of the crevasse?
Yeah.
The bottom is dry. So there's no water. There's no river. It's about 30 feet down to the bottom. And let's see, I can tell you more. There's bodies down at the bottom of the crevasse. And one of them glimmers with a sparkle.
A body glimmers with a sparkle?
Yeah, there's a small sparkle on top of the body 30 feet down.
I know this to mean that it has magical dew. I understand what you're saying.
So yeah, give me that persuade roll.
All right, let's see.
Oh, yeah. She just like smiles and stands up and picks up her stool and like slings it over her back, picks up the shield and says, "Yeah, let's go upstairs."
Yeah.
And she walks over to one of the doors on the right-hand tower and pushes it open.
Okay. And as she does so, I'm going to take the keys from her, shut the door behind her, and barricade it with...
Are you just grabbing the keys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just going to take the keys. I'm pretty nimble. I'm going to take the keys from her belt, shut the door behind her.
Super nimble.
And then just put my body weight against it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. Roll that sleight of hand check.
God, please.
Oh yeah. You like totally go to grab the keys. It's not the keys that you grab. No. It's not her biceps that are the only impressive part of her body. She turns around and smiles and says, "Not yet." And then she continues walking up the stairs quickly. There's spiral stairs inside of the tower.
And we're all following, right?
Are you also following?
I'm following Aya, and I'm like,
I just groped this.
I'm just behind them casually walking and being like, "Hey, before we make it upstairs, do you know who Ozzy Dahaka is?" You know anything
Does anybody want to answer this questionnaires?
You know,
This poor woman.
I'm gonna keep asking. I need someone.
I just have no respect for privacy.
She's walking up the stairs. She says, your friends have no respect for privacy, do they?
They like to watch.
So is this not going in the palace? This is like her own little thing, is what we're doing?
No,
Yeah.
so the idea is that there's this crevasse with a drawbridge across it. On either side of the crevasse, there's these two towers with like a gatehouse that control the drawbridge itself, right?
Okay.
And so you're on the outside side, sort of trying to convince her to let you open the doors and get onto the drawbridge and get across. And she's like stops halfway up the stairs and she says, she looks at Armoros and she says, "I'm sorry, he's not my type. You know how it is.
Right.
I mean, men."
Of
I
course.
just turn around and push him out of the door and just shut the door. Taken care of.
You can try to push.
Answer my question. Yeah.
It's an opposing strength check at least.
Don't worry about him.
Sarek, what are you doing?
Zarek is a little further behind, watching it all unfold, not really sure what is happening.
Get
Because
those keys.
yeah, I
That's what's going to happen.
he understands the plan, but it clearly is not unfolding the way a plan should unfold, and he is just like, oh boy, here we go, and just in the back watching it happen. So I imagine I would see Amaros get pushed out of the door,
Yeah.
like directly into me, because I guess I'm further back.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So,
It doesn't
Carl,
matter.
Well, hang on. Let's have the opposing strength test. Just for
are you resisting Armoros?
anyone pushes Armoros, he resists. Yes.
All right. Go ahead and roll your strength. Wait, hang on. This should be opposing athletics tests. So, Armoros, roll your athletics.
Okay. 21.
There. Let's
pushed my arm up against.
let's see how Aya rolls. Not Aya, Ankara. Roll an athletics check.
Okay.
You're going to get a crit. You're on 20.
15. Actually, that's a really impressive roll.
Yeah.
But I think
Like
it's one of
pushing
those.
on the wall, though. You push the wall, and he like looks down at you and just begins to give you this story. He's like, "My brother was quite good with the ladies. I understand this to be a different kind of situation. I'm going to perhaps scale down."
I just put my hand over his face, like I can't move him. I'm just like, let's just go upstairs. It's fine.
I don't understand what 3 girls in a room can do by themselves. Though.
Sarek grabs, like, puts his hand on his shoulder. And he's like, I can tell you all about it outside.
I have sketches.
Yeah. I've thought this through.
We will wait downstairs, but if I hear any screaming, I will come up here. I will kick in that door, and I will kill you. Goodbye.
Sarek has sketches, but he can't draw people, so they're all just trees.
Yeah, they're all like very erotic trees.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
So, I think by this point, poor Ellisovet is just standing halfway up the stairs with her arms crossed, like, "Hey, I think you should give me that wine now. I'm gonna need a little drink."
Right. Yeah. So does Ankara, right, Ankara? You like to unwind a little bit before you watch, right?
I love a drink.
Yeah. Come along. I'm going to give her, like, reach out my hand.
I'm like not charming at all, but I understand how social situations work. So I'm trying very hard to like make it work in my own way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take her hand in mine and awkwardly walk up the stairs, also giving her panic glances with my eyes.
Are you just trying to like walk past Ellisovet?
Yeah. Walk past her into her quarters. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. So you follow the spiral stairs up to the top of this tower, and then there's an open doorway that heads into that cross section that's clearly over top of the door that is blocking the drawbridge.
Yeah.
Do you just walk in?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see. The light in here is dim. It's silent and completely still, and it smells like stale bread, ripe cheese, old wine, and dust.
Ripe cheese.
Ripe cheese.
I think I bought that candle once.
In the center of the room, there is a table with 2 chairs. There's some food spread out on the table. At the far side of the room, there's another open doorway. There's a pile of refuse in the corner against the back wall. And that wall is actually solid stone. And you can tell, sort of like thinking about the direction that you came from, the solid stone wall is facing the direction that you approached from.
Mm-hmm.
The other facing wall has 3 narrow arched windows, arrow slits that are looking down on the drawbridge, surely.
I'm going to walk over there and like look down. Is the drawbridge down and everything?
Yeah, the drawbridge is down. You can see down on the drawbridge. From your vista here, now that you're higher in the air, you're probably like 50 or 60 feet up. You've climbed these spiral stairs for a little while. The walls of the palace complex are fairly close. There's a short approach to what looks like a gate into the palace complex area. On top of the walls are built of yellow cut stone with crenellations on top. You see heavy humped movement across the back of the walls, and a vaguely lizard-like head lifts up on top of the walls, shortly followed by 2 brutal wings attached directly to a thick chest. And it is all covered, stretched with an umber, leathery hide. That's on the walls a ways away. Down below, on the drawbridge, you can see down into the crevasse as well. You can see bodies down in the bottom of the crevasse. You can see 3 guards standing on the other side of the drawbridge with weapons at the ready. There's a man with a thick black angular face tattoo who holds 2 short swords, one in each hand. Next to him, there's another man with a gray topknot, and this person is wielding a longsword and shield. And there is a short woman who doesn't have a shield. She has a spear that she rests on the ground. The 3 of them are simply standing and staring across the drawbridge at the door beneath you, but there's something very strange about them. Their skin it looks as if they have been badly burned and then fully healed, and their eyes are pools of ink black shadow. You can't see their eyeballs at all. And they're standing unnaturally still.
I elbow Ankara. That's a freaking dragon. That's a fucking dragon down there.
I'm like, I have my pen out, my quill and my ink, and I'm like drawing a very simple sketch of all this on my hand because I know that Sarek will want to. I was like, well, he likes drawings and this might be helpful. Like, yeah, I know. I see it. And I like draw a very bad dragon quickly.
Cool. Awesome.
Right,
so, Aya, what are you doing while Ankara is drawing? Are you looking out the windows as well?
Yeah. Trying to take in what I can. Trying to figure out if this is folly.
And Kara,
folly.
And Kara, you are a 1, and Aya is a 2. And Kara, you hear Ellisovet come up the stairs and then walk in the door, and then you hear her go, "Holy shit!" And then, Ankara, you feel movement immediately behind you.
I turn around.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Jesse and I are doing some stuff too.
Yeah, I bet. It's real good, the stuff that you're doing. What are you doing down there, by the way?
So if you cut to us, I just really quickly say, well, I guess I could just scissor, but can I make it down into the trench?
We cut back.
Yeah. How far is the crevasse, real quick? And can I scale down there?
Yeah, you could attempt to try. The wall is rough cut, so it's certainly something you could climb with an athletics check.
Of course. Yeah, I'll do that real quick. And then we can
go ahead.
I rolled 20.
20. All right, Armeros, you climb down the edge of the cliff.
Sark is just like, I don't.
We cut to you.
Please don't do that. Like, no. We need you up here. Like, things could happen. Please don't. And you're just like,
And it's at that moment, Sarek, that you hear, holy shit, from upstairs. And Kara, you hear blades sliding out of their scabbards from behind you. And when you turn around, there is another guard standing there in full guard attire, wielding 2 short swords. She attacks you, stabbing you with a 17. Let's see, that's 1d6 plus...
As she's stabbing me, I start screaming
1.
extremely loudly.
Yeah, you take 3 damage from this sneak attack. Why don't the 2 of you roll initiative?
As we hear this scream, Steven, how long would it take me to scale down?
Probably you made it to the bottom by that point in time.
Oh, I didn't select my
I'm going to
token.
hurriedly investigate the shiny body and then shout out to the top, Sarek, erotic or not, we need to get up there.
Nice.
That's
Okay.
not erotic. You don't know what erotic sounds like.
That's correct, but you don't need to make fun of me. And I'm going to check the body real quick.
What?
The body has...
There we go. Now I've
Let's
selected my
see.
token.
Yeah, down at the bottom of the crevasse, there's this body. It's a guard's body, and it has... Where the hell is it? Yes, there's a silvered drinking flask engraved with a spear through a skull insignia on it. And when you pick it up, it sloshes with liquid.
Okay, he looks at it, takes a deep sigh, kind of attaches to his belt anyways. He pours a little bit of liquid out in his hand. What is it?
It looks like whiskey.
He's going to taste it.
It tastes like whiskey.
It's my brother's fun juice. I know it from my past. He's going to attach it to his belt and then start scaling up again.
What did you find? What was down there?
It's some kind of cup containing the stuff that only the elders could drink.
Is it magic?
Yes. It turns a smart man dumb and a dumb man bold.
Oh, dear
Nice.
God. He Sarek backs away from the cliff. He's like, of all the people to... And just sort of waits for you to get back up.
Nice. Armeros, give me another athletics check to climb back up. And in the meantime, Aya, you are the first one to react.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Armeros, it's a pretty harrowing climb back up. Rock crumbles away under your hands, but you make it up without incident. Aya, what do you do?
Okay, so there's a guard that has just stabbed Ankara.
Yeah, this guard wielding 2 short swords stabbed Ankara. And again, this woman's skin looks like it's been burned and then healed, and her eyes are pools of inky blackness.
Okay, I'm gonna try this. You caught me off guard, and when you catch Aya off guard, bad things happen. So very quickly, she pulls her skull, her golden skull, from her robes, and all of a sudden, you just start to hear almost like this murmur. And I'm going to psychically attack this thing and hope it's not dead. My character probably would or would not know what to do in this situation. Trial and error. And I'm going to hit it with Dissonant Whispers.
Awesome.
Yes.
Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately run away from you. Fantastic. 8 damage, huh? Okay. On a successful save, it takes half. It doesn't have to move. So let's take a look. Wisdom saving throw plus 0. So that's a straight 1d20. Of course, this guard rolled a 19. And
How?
So,
Still half of 3d6 is pretty good.
Wow.
Roll 3d6, Britt.
Wait, me?
Well, not
Or-
Britt. No, I said Britt.
Oh, I was like,
Britt.
Yeah.
Britt.
You have to be more specific now.
Okay, I'm going to just bring this token to the token layer and then use it to track hit points. So that's -4. Okay, very cool. The guard, of course, now gets to react and slashes out with her short swords at you, Aya, twice.
She gonna stab me?
Yes.
Spell inside of range.
No,
Miss.
it's the guard's turn. So the first short sword does miss, and then she strikes out with her offhand.
Also a miss. She's got 25 AC.
25 AC. It's great. Stabbing you for 5 damage, Aya. Then it's now it is Ankara's turn.
Even while this is happening, though, the two of us are running in. Like
you are climbing up a cliff while this.
Yeah,
is
no,
happening.
I'm anxiously waiting for you to hurry your way up a cliff. I told you it was a terrible, terrible idea.
So it's a 30-foot cliff. You can move at half of your speed while climbing. So I'm going to say it takes you this full round to get up the cliff. Then it's going
Jesse helps me for
more
advantage.
rounds.
No, I'm not helping you. I'm freaking out.
You sure as fuck you're helping me, bro?
I'm hearing screaming. I am not prepared. You literally did the stupidest thing possible. None of this is registering in me. I'm losing my mind.
Ankara, what are you doing?
The guard is like right in front of me, right?
Yes, stabbing at Aya.
Yeah. So I guess I'll use my melee dagger and attack.
That's a big ol' 6, which unfortunately is not sufficient. But Aya, you also get to do whatever you like. What are you going to do?
Well, I won't suffer this level of insult. And so I'm actually going to pull out like my sword cane from my third sleeve.
Your scythe cane, yeah. From your other sleeve.
Yeah. And it's like has a ornate like ruby top to it. And I'm just gonna sheath it out and like unsheath it rather. Yeah. And just like stab at this thing.
Awesome.
Did it go?
Oof. No, unfortunately,
No,
your sickle, the top of this cane that you unsheath, scrapes across this guard's tunic, and her chainmail armor underneath stops the assault. She strikes at you another 2 times with her short swords. Let's see. Aya, you have a 13 armor class. She hits you twice. Okay. Oh, so the first attack deals 1 damage, and the second attack, or 2 damage, and the second attack deals 6. Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm knocked down.
Yeah, as you drop to the floor, Ellisovet says, "Jesus Christ!" And she pulls out a spear and throws it at the guard.
About to say, where's LL and all?
Oh no! It flies onto the other side of the room, clattering against the far wall. And Kara, it's all up to you. This is one guard.
God. All right. Jesus. Hold on. Okay. Let me see here. Let's you know what? Let's thorn whip this guard.
Awesome.
You're gonna whip.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
You could have saved that.
Boo.
Should have busted it out earlier.
I mean, our time will come. Oh my God. Yeah, let's try this. I don't know, man.
Cool. You make a melee spell attack. If the attack hits, they take 1d6 piercing damage. So for you, what that means, Ankara, is you roll 1d20 plus 5. Oof. Unfortunately, your thorn whip was not good enough.
I'm useless.
Yeah, let's see. Who's this guard going to attack next?
Can I use my bonus to cast Healing Word on Aya?
I'm very sorry to tell you, Ankara. You spent both of your spells for today.
Oh, I thought we rested. Oh, we didn't rest.
You recover your spells on a long rest.
Well,
yes.
And I'm just going to stand there and wait to die.
Excellent choice. The guard is deciding which of you to attack. Ankara, you are a 1, and Ellisovet is a 2. Oh, Ankara. Ooh, okay, Ankara, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it hits you twice. Okay, 1d6 plus 1 for 4 damage with her main hand short sword, and then for 2 damage with her offhand short sword. 6 damage total.
Oh, I'm still alive.
Excellent. It is Ellisovet's turn. She strikes out with another spear from her back, closing into melee range and trying to stab at her companion. Rolling a 6 for a total of 10, scraping off of the guard's armor. Ankara, it is your turn.
Again?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Again.
Well, let's see. What thing should I do that will have no effect whatsoever? Let's try stabbing them again. My dagger.
It's a good plan. The 21 is a hit, so roll that damage.
Oh.
3 damage.
Well.
You know, every little bit counts. And now, Armoros and Sarek, I want you to make initiative rolls. And let's see when you enter the initiative order here. At a 17. Fantastic. Jeff at a 5. Okay, cool. Well, fortunately, Ankara is acting at initiative step 6, and so Armoros, you burst in the door, and you see what is going on. There's this guard with twin short swords attacking Ankara and being battled against by Ellisovet. What do you do?
Blasts into the room with a huge shit-eating grin on his face, but then sees that a battle's happening.
Yes.
And the smile melts off his face, and then I lock on to the antagonist.
Yeah.
And I swing.
You press that R3 stick, lock on. 23. 23 is a hit. 8 for damage. 8 damage. You kill this guard.
So I just like...
That's all I needed. 8, that's it.
Oh, yeah. No, these guards do not have a lot of health. They are weak. Man. I should get you to make one death saving throw because I think we've gone through at least one round since you dropped, maybe more.
Give me one, Stephen, by the way.
That was the only one.
Okay, so we're out of combat then?
Yeah.
Well, then I'd like to immediately try to stabilize.
Cool. So with the 10 minutes after the fight that you take, you can stabilize Aya and bring her back up to 1 hit point.
So just automatically, you're saying?
Yeah, like you attend to her, you help bind her wounds and give her some water and help her recover her senses, but you manage to pick her back up. So
by the way, Stephen, while I'm doing this,
awesome.
I'm going to check her for gold. Because she's mentioned that it costs money to do this, so now Armoros thinks it costs money.
That's fair. Yeah.
Is your gold readily available, Aya?
Yes, but I don't have much of it.
Okay.
He only cares how many, not how much.
How many is more than 3?
Well, how many does she have?
More than 3.
In his math, if it's literally just more than 3, he thinks 1 is enough, and he takes 1 gold piece.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, excellent. So, the 5 of you wipe your brow, sit down. I think Ellisovet probably tears off a chunk of this stale bread and shakes her empty wine bottle despondently. Says, I can't believe that. Why would she do that?
You always invite people into your room to die to a zombie thing?
She shakes her head. I thought she was sleeping. This was as much a surprise to me as to you.
Did she go to sleep with eyeballs?
Yes. I saw Hala 20 minutes ago. It was my turn to stand watch. She was heading up here to relax.
He nods knowingly and kind of looks at the group and says, "We are not to sleep on this journey. I have procured for ourselves a chalice full of something that shall help us stay awake. You may partake." He kind of passes it around.
Nice. For what it's worth, there's a special rule regarding sharing whiskey.
Really?
What?
Yeah, there's a house rule regarding what you do during a short rest. So if you would like to take another short rest, you can, and then you can share whiskey. And if any of you tell a story of your history, of your past, then all of you gain. If you tell a short tale from your past, you gain inspiration.
Ah.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Armoros
Sarek
kind of.
passes on the whiskey.
You pass on it?
I pass on it. I don't drink.
Armoros doesn't understand. He's like, if you don't drink, you will die.
Sarek just doesn't even acknowledge that comment.
I drink it, but I'm just shaking my head and looking at him while I'm drinking it.
Perhaps you shouldn't drink this, but rather eat it then. If you eat the whiskey, it should be fine.
I pass. I pass.
I just hand the bottle to Aya.
Aya takes like a deep swig and she's like, yeah, no, I definitely need a drink after this.
Nice.
I used to drink this with my brother. He was my best friend, and we grew up together, of course. He kind of looks down at the chalice and says, but I had to kill him. And it's plagued me ever since. And he kind of looks at his sword. Sorry, it's a sad story, and here the three of you were about to engage in what I can only imagine is intercourse before that zombie.
Yeah. What? Tell us more about
What
that.
happened?
Ellisovet just blushes deeply. She mutters, I should get back to my post. So it's been 10 minutes. By the way, at the end of this 10 minutes, all of you hear these distant booms and cracks and rending sounds that are echoing through the air, seem to be emanating from somewhere outside. Just like that.
I take back the magic chalice of healing, and I put it back on my belt.
Nice. By the way, you've drunk all the whiskey. It's empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So, Armoros, you get to mark inspiration.
Thank you.
And so Ellisovet is saying, I should really get back to my post. I'm sorry.
Elle, I'm going to stop you right there. Listen, I tried to do this the sweet way, and I'm going to tell you right now. If you don't give me those keys, I'm going to make a swarm of tiny bugs eat the skin off of your beautiful face.
Yeah, she blanches. Make a what? Like an intimidation roll?
I would like to help with that roll by standing behind her and kind of holding my sword menacingly.
Yeah, awesome. Are you trained in intimidation, Armoros?
Yeah, I'm a soldier.
Excellent. You sure are. So, Aya, you have an advantage on this intimidation.
Nice. Okay. I have to intimidate her. Okay.
An 18 is pretty intimidating. She looks around and she says, "This is all way too fucked up."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. You've had a long day. You don't want to deal with this. You should leave it to the professionals. Your friend just tried to kill us. They're probably undead. And these guys know I will summon a swarm of tiny little bugs, and their tiny little teeth will dig into your flesh over and over and over and over. I don't want to do that to you today.
She raises her fingers, says,
bugs, not her.
That's fine. You know, I'm just going to sit up here. It turns out I was upstairs when y'all came by, and you picked the lock or something here, and she tosses you the keys.
Thank you. You're cute. Cute as a button. And I'm going to boop her on the nose and turn around and walk out.
Armoros does not follow immediately because he's going to try to double down on this good fortune and says, I killed your zombie friend, probably saving her life. I should get a reward.
She just looks at you and goes, ugh. And she turns around and walks to the other tower.
Sarek intervenes between her and is like, by reward, he means information. An informational reward about what is happening? Why? We have no information about what's happened inside this castle since we arrived.
And I come behind Sarek and I'm like, yeah, who is? How's he to have that? Can you tell us?
Yeah, she looks at you. She says, "What do you mean? What's happened inside of the palace?" Palace. The king is working with his closest confidants on a solution to. She gestures outside. And actually, do any of you look outside?
Oh,
Sure, yes.
No.
I as she points outside, I look outside.
Yeah, the surface of the sun is like cracked, and there are purple veins sort of all across the surface of it. And you can see the sun itself sort of seething and bubbling in the sky. This is very different from what it looked like when you first were approaching the palace.
So she just turns and walks away from me, by the way?
I mean, she turned and walked away from you, but she was answering Sarek, like, what do you mean what's happening? They're working on this problem that in the palace. I don't understand what you're asking about. Azidahaka is the demon prince of sands and the wastes. What do you want from me?
What is grabbable then, Stephen? What is
grabbable?
Yeah, what do I see that would be a reward?
A table.
Well, you can be more descriptive than that, I assume. Is there a blanket on the bed? Is there a spear on the wall, floor?
Yeah, so she threw a spear. There's a spear against the far wall. The table has some cheese and bread and an empty wineskin on it.
You said there's a dragon head on the wall?
No, if you look out the arrow slits that look down over the drawbridge, when you look to the walls of the palace compound itself, there's a large humped shape moving across the walls.
Can I point that out to Elle and just like point and be like, that's what I'm referring to. What are those? And I point down to the what I imagine would be the other figures down below.
Yeah, the other guards.
Yeah, and I'm just like, What is any of this?
She looks down at the guards and says, by Coronet, I don't understand. They look just like, and then she gestures to Hala. They look just like Hala. What has happened?
Can I dig through Hala, like her stuff?
Yeah.
And see
Totally.
if there's anything we can find out?
Oh, yeah. Actually, you're supposed to be getting gold for killing all these things. I should reward you with that.
While he's doing that, Armoros grabs the haunch of cheese off the table and walks out.
Perfect. For killing the zombies, you earned 6 gold pieces. And then for killing this one guard, you have also earned how much gold? 1d4. You earn an additional 4 gold pieces by ransacking this guard's body. Cool.
2 of that, if that's fair for everyone.
Sure.
2 of the 10.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 each, and then there's 2 left over.
Yeah.
Sure. Who's taking the leftover 2?
I want them.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, take 'em.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Sorry. What were you asking, Jesse? You were asking about the creature on the wall.
No. Well, I did point all that out to her, but besides that, I wanted to go and explore the body that we have sitting there. The thing we just killed, whatever the hell it is. I'd like to figure out, like, flip her over and check out her face and see what the hell that was.
Yeah. Her eyes are just sockets of bubbling shadow.
Can I put my finger in it?
Do you want to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you can stomach inserting your finger into someone's eye socket?
I mean,
That's like never anything you want to hear in a role play. Can I put my finger in it?
I mean, my Constitution's terrible, so I don't know that in character. Never mind. I'm just very curious. I'm very curious, like, if it is. Can I at least tell if it's an eyeball that is black and bubbly, or if it's just an eye socket that is goopy?
You can't really see. There's like a pitch black shadow in the eye socket. Actually, the effect looks magical. If you used your Arcana skill, I might be able to tell you a little bit more.
Sure.
16 is pretty strong, all things considered. It's clearly some sort of like spell or curse or something like that has afflicted this person, changed their skin, changed their eyes, maybe even changed their behavior, right? Like it seems as though Ellisovet was pretty surprised that Hala would act like this. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to turn around at the door, still swinging the keys around my finger, look around, and I'm assuming Armoros just pushed past me since he got his haunch of cheese. And I'm going to make eye contact with Ellie from across the room.
Yeah.
Say, Ellie, you seem like a nice girl. I'm going to be honest with you, honey. Seems like this town's going to shit. There's people coming back to life. There's zombies on the road. That cute girl got half eaten by some dead dude. I think it's time for you to get out. You should leave. You should leave here and never come back. You should go. You should go and buy a farmstead and live happily and raise cows. This is not... Why? Why even mess with all of this? You should take your beautiful brown skin and your beautiful hair, flaming red hair, and just leave this place and never look back.
Yeah, and she's nodding, and yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to get eaten.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
My duty is to the king. I can't.
The king probably looks like those people down there.
I don't look like those people down there.
But you might if you stay here. Listen, you should leave this to the professionals. Probably. Listen, I deal with this kind of stuff a lot, and it's not for amateurs, okay? You really got to be a professional when you deal with, the unknown and the eldritch.
You make some really good points.
I do. I really do.
Did you ever tell her your name?
No.
You make some really good points. Friend, I think I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah.
I'm looking out for you.
Thanks. You're a real friend.
Yeah.
And she starts walking down the stairs in the opposite tower.
As soon as she walks away, I'm going to be like, all right, we should take all her stuff and we should go. We got the keys. Get out of here ourselves. Yes.
What? Yeah. Can we look around the room and figure out what stuff she has to take?
Honestly, it looks like she's carrying everything with her except for the bread, cheese, empty wineskin on the table. There's a cot in the corner that was covered in rags, and that's where Hala was crouching before she surged to life.
Is the room lit by anything?
It's lit only from the sun that's coming in through these arrow slit windows that face out over the drawbridge.
Okay. And was there anything besides the tunic and the weapons on the body of the person that we murdered?
That's all. You got some gold off of her. I think 4 gold pieces. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Each of the gold coins, incidentally, are stamped with the insignia of the sun. So, what do you think you want to do next, friends?
I start to sort of sketch from the little windows, start sketching what I see across the way, and sort of create kind of a map, but not really, just sort of like an outline of, so this is where this building was, and this is where this building was, and I try to draw the different things that I see.
Yeah, so once again, just as a quick summary, from the top up here, you see the walls of yellow cut stone in the distance, probably 200 feet ahead of you, something like that. With crenellations on top, there's this heavy humped movement, and every once in a while, this vaguely lizard-like head lifts up, followed by a pair of brutal wings attached to the thick chest. And then down below, immediately underneath you, there's that drawbridge. Down underneath the drawbridge are the bodies down in the crevasse, which are most looted. And there is, again, that trio of guards standing on the other side of the drawbridge, unmoved from when Ankara looked at them earlier. One standing with a pair of short swords, one standing with long sword and shield, one standing with a single spear resting against the ground.
When I see Sarek sketching, I look down at my hand because I'm going to show him the drawing that I did, but I realize that it's all smudged from the fight. So yes. I'm like, oh. And I don't say anything. I just let him keep sketching.
So, what you notice as you look over his shoulder is that the dragon you made looks way, way better than the dragon.
Like even smudged.
Even smudged, it looks better. And his is just terrible. It looks kind of like a dog. You're not really sure what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't look like a dragon.
The guards noticeably zombie.
Yes. Again, they have that burned skin. They've got those blackened eyes, etc., etc.
Okay.
But now that time is drawing late, I think we should leave the description of your current situation as you're all up in this room at the top of this tower. There's a closed door down below you, but you have the keys. You're looking down on the drawbridge, seeing these afflicted guards with their blackened eyes and debating amongst yourselves what your next steps will be. And I think we should close it out here for tonight. Thank you all for joining, and I'm going to kick it over to Jesse to talk us out, and then we can go around, highlight where you can find us on the internet, and then we will see you next week.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you to everyone for coming to watch us, and to everyone who's role-playing with me for joining in on this adventure. Yeah, as you can tell, this is not going to be a simple cakewalk of people talking through their problems. We're probably going to die, is what it looks like. We're probably going to die terrible, terrible deaths. And Steven could not be more happy.
I love Armoros. He's great. He makes everything more complicated, and it's amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I did think it was great that in the one situation we needed combat help, you were just like getting whiskey, so that's cool. This is gonna end up great. So before we wrap it up, I think we should do some shout outs and go around the room and stuff so people can figure out, where to find people at. So we're gonna start, I guess we'll just go like around the order of the thing. So we'll start with Jeff. What's going on with you, dude?
This was really fun. One of the cool parts about setting this up was everyone was saying it's a super stellar cast, and what's really fun for me is I've yet to do a show with Britt. I've only just now met Bronze Girl, and this has been really awesome. And then, of course, great to be on a show with Steven again. We had an absolute blast in the past. And Jesse, I'm still feeling out. We'll kind of I'm not.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Not sold either way. I've heard good things, of course, but I'm kidding, of course. For me personally, I'm just streaming a whole bunch. I will be at BlizzCon at the end of the month. That'll be like one of the times we have to, or I miss an episode or whatever, unfortunately. But otherwise, I'm excited to be doing this every week and hanging out with you guys. If you're interested in following me around, I'm in Control TV on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, kind of, but I don't really upload to YouTube that much. I'm looking forward to getting to know this community and having this awesome show be something that we do every week. It's really going to be awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Bronze, what's going on with you this week?
This was great. First off, thank you so much for having me. Britt, I already love you. You're fantastic. Jeff, you are wildly amusing, and the other two of you I was already kind of familiar with. So, I'm super excited. The other two of you that are not Jeff. But yeah, no, this was super fun. So thank you for having me. I can't wait for the next few episodes because we're gonna, like you said, we're gonna die a bunch, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be wildly amusing. I'm That Bronze Girl. You can find me on Twitch at That Bronze Girl. You can find me on Twitter at That Bronze Girl. And I do lots of RPGs and some variety casting and things like that. That's me.
Very cool. Steven, since you're next on our list as we go around, tell us about what you're doing this week.
Wait, what am I doing this week?
Can you talk about it?
Wait, what?
I don't know. You're like super secret dev man.
Oh yeah, no, I can't talk about it.
But what if you could? What if you could?
If I could talk about it, I would tell you about going to work in the game mines, mining out a game day in, day out. It's great. I love it. You can find me on the internet and follow me on at Twitch and Twitter at Silent Osiris. The O is 0. And thank the 4 of you very much for joining in on this adventure. I had a great time this episode as well, so I can't wait to see how the game develops over time. And I'm going to kick it off to whoever's next on our list, Jesse. I think you knew.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to promote myself because this is about all these awesome people who came to join me today. So, Britt, it's your turn now.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for letting me play. I've played with Steven before, but the rest of you, I've wanted to play with all of you, so thank you for having me. Right now, I'm producing content for TwitchCon, so watch that in a couple weeks if you're not there. Sometimes I stream myself playing Dota really poorly. Right now, I'm not doing that, but later I will probably pick it back up again when I get a new keyboard. And my Twitch is /CheerHex, and my Twitter is just Britt Wiseman. And I'm really excited to keep playing next week.
All right. Well, that is it for us. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap this up, Steven? I know you muted your microphone, but I'm putting it back on you because I'm that guy. Nope, no one can hear you. But I think what he wanted to say was, Jesse, you're an amazing host and a true
Jesse,
friend.
you're an amazing host, and as your friend, I'm just so excited to be here. Wait, what?
What?
Oh, I'm not muted. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I'm loving this, and I can't wait to see you all next week.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
You know, where's the payoff? Bring the strippers and booze. We do occasionally talk about video games. Bring the strippers and booze. Not enough time for video games. Bring the strippers and booze.
Oh, thank God, I don't need pants now.
Hey, JC, what are you doing? Not much. Making a fortune.
It's a production of broadcast.
Yeah, now sing music.
It's a production of broadcast.
Bring the strippers and booze.
It's a production of broadcast.
Now I'm here to ask and answer one simple question.
It's a production of broadcast.
You